Bryce Mitchell versus Movsar Evloev has been confirmed for the UFC Fight Night on November 5th for in the Apex, I believe, under the Amanda Lemos versus Marina Rodriguez fight. I'm pretty sure there's still an open spot for the main event, it looks like, on Tapology, but I'm pretty sure this will probably be the co-main event to the 5-round main event of Amanda Lemos versus Marina Rodriguez. But I don't think it'll be the main event, actually. Now that I think about it, this fight won't be the main event. So it will likely be the co-main event on that card. But I'm going to be predicting and breaking down this fight and going over how they are matched up physically, record-wise, how they fight, their fighting styles in previous matchups that they did have. So yeah, let's get right into it. Physically, let's break down how they match up. They're both undefeated fighters. Obviously, Bryce Mitchell did lose that exhibition fight in Tough, but we don't really count that because it is an exhibition. He is 1 year younger than Movsar Evloev. Movsar Evloev is 3 inches shorter than Bryce Mitchell and does have a 2.5-inch reach advantage versus Bryce Mitchell and a 4-inch disadvantage in the leg reach department. Bryce Mitchell, the last 2 fights were decision wins against Edson Barboza and Andre Fili. In the Barboza fight, he used his grappling to set up his striking in the Barboza fight. In the first round, he's able to knock down Barboza with a pretty good punch that had quite a bit of power in it and was able to control it from there on the ground. Did have quite a few moments where they were on the feet where I think he did get the best of Barboza in those situations, which was pretty good to see because Barboza is a very good striker. Andre Fili did grapple Andre Fili quite a bit. Andre Fili was able to scramble also, so it was a lot of work for Bryce Mitchell to get up again and keep getting him on the ground. And pounding him, showed some of his scrambling abilities also. Looked really well there with very dominant and high-pace grappling in that fight. But yes, I guess I'll get into my next point when I go over both fighters. But does obviously have good wrestling, solid stand-up, decent power in his hands, likes to keep distance against good strikers, especially in that Barboza fight. Kept a pretty hefty distance from Barboza, even though Barboza was circling around the cage during that fight just to get away from the takedowns and make it easier for him. But he wasn't able to get too far away from the takedowns. But for Movsar Evloev, last 2 fights were against Dan Ige and Hakeem Dawodu. Dan Ige, he did very well against Dan Ige. It didn't seem like Dan Ige was in like a situation of Edson Barboza against Bryce Mitchell. Was kind of staying at a solid distance from Movsar Evloev, but was very confident in striking there. Did land a couple good power shots on Movsar Evloev, but Movsar Evloev did outstrike Dan Ige, mixed in some of his grappling also, and looked really good in the stand-up department, actually, especially from his Hakeem Dawodu fight, where he did struggle quite a bit on the feet against Hakeem Dawodu. Against Hakeem Dawodu, he did kind of struggle to get him down a couple times, would throw him on the ground, and then he'd get right back up. So it was a really hard fight for Movsar Evloev against Hakeem Dawodu. But from that fight, his stand-up has improved tremendously. Against Ige, he was using a lot of knees when Ige would duck down, and was using some good teeps and leg kicks in that fight also. In the 3rd round of the Hakeem Dawodu fight, he got hurt pretty badly. Was begging, like, come on. Got hurt. Put his hand on the ground. He's like, come on, didn't feel anything. And then got rocked multiple times after that. But his stand-up has gotten a lot better. Isn't the most active fighter either, but he is definitely improving still. Does have some good wrestling, grappling, like I said, very strong. The way he takes guys down, like I said, against Hakeem Dawodu, he picks him up and slams him on the ground. Does have a little bit of technical ability there, but he is one of those stronger guys that just want to pick him up and throw him on the ground. And then again, his stand-up has developed quite a bit. Both of these guys use their grappling to set up their stand-up. So realistically, it's kind of hard to tell like how their stand-up would be if they fought each other, because I don't know how much they'd be worrying about each other's grappling when they do fight each other. Actually, when they do, not if they do, but when they do. So you got to keep that in mind. Like how Barboza was fighting, I don't want to say skittish, but he kept his distance quite a bit and wasn't putting too much out there to where he could get taken down. So Bryce Mitchell did look a lot better in the striking department. For the Evloev fight against Ige, it seemed like he was more super comfortable in the stand-up. Obviously, the takedown threat was there. He did grapple Ige quite a bit in that fight. I don't want to say quite a bit, but a little bit in that fight. Showed the threat that was there. And it didn't seem like he was as tentative as Barboza was, like I stated earlier. But I could tell from that fight specifically that Movsar's striking has gotten way better in his timeout. So in this fight, how they match up against each other, I think they'll cancel out in the grappling department. I do think they'll still mix it in a little bit. I think Movsar will go for a takedown. Bryce Mitchell will stuff it, or he'll get taken down and then jump back up. Same thing with Bryce. I think he wants to show the threat of the takedown a little bit, just to keep each guy on edge when grappling. Bryce likes to keep things at a distance, so I think this will start out a little slower in the beginning. I think Bryce will keep things at a distance. We'll try and hit some teeps and maybe counterpunch a little bit against Movsar Evloev. Movsar Evloev does like to throw quite a bit into his punches, to where like straight down the pipe you can kind of catch him a little bit with the jab. So you'll probably see Bryce Mitchell using his jab, maybe a couple teeps to the body and some counterpunching in this fight. But Movsar Evloev's technical abilities have gotten a lot better since that Dawodu fight. Looked a lot better in the Ige fight, and I think he has a lot there. I think he's a lot of kicks. Even Bryce Mitchell actually in the Barboza fight had a lot of head kicks too. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how this fight goes. Yeah, I think they'll obviously both mix it up on the feet. I think this fight is extremely close. I think Movsar, I'll probably edge the power a little bit to Movsar Evloev a little bit. But I think Bryce Mitchell does have some solid power in his hands also, where it could be an issue for Evloev. We did see Evloev get rocked quite a bit in that Dawodu fight. So, and did, I don't want to say got hurt against Ige, but Ige hit him with a good shot, took it. But I don't know how many shots he's going to be able to take that. And Ige obviously has some really good power in his hands. So this creates a very interesting situation. I do think this is a split decision. As of right now, I'm predicting it. This is an extremely close fight. I'm saying split decision, and I'm going to edge it to Movsar Evloev. I think his striking has just gotten a lot better. I think he's a stronger guy. So I think if there is a grappling issue in this fight, I think Movsar will probably get an upper hand here. Even though, like, you could probably see him clinch against the cage a little bit. I think we'll see a little bit of clinching also. Clinching against the cage. And then that's just a part of mixing in the grappling. Clinch against the cage and then mixing the things up on the feet. Mixing and striking up on the feet. And, yeah, I'm going to go split decision victory for Movsar Evloev. Again, striking has developed quite a bit. I don't know how Bryce Mitchell will fight in this fight. I think he uses his grappling a lot to set up his striking. Obviously, the same thing is a little bit with Movsar, but I do think Bryce Mitchell does that a lot. So I think we'll be able to tell like how much pure striking abilities we have in these two guys. So yeah, I'm excited for this fight. This isn't nowhere near my final prediction. I think I probably need to sit on it a little bit. But I do think this is a split decision victory for Movsar Evloev for this fight. I hope you guys enjoyed. We got predictions coming Sunday for the upcoming fight card. I think it is Mackenzie Dern versus Yan Janan. 2-week break, wonderful. And then, what is it? Grasso. And then we have 280. And then we don't have any more breaks for the rest of the year for what I believe. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.